52. So it's been a while.
Now you were here. Now there may be some people who aren't, who probably weren't aware of a fire that destroyed a great portion of the Yankee Air Museum, almost put it out of business.
Exactly, and that was, believe it or not, 13 years ago.
Oh my God.
2004. That would be to the right, behind the crowd by the B-52. And of course, we talk about and will talk about the future home of the renamed Yankee Air Museum in the old bomber plant.
Has more press and more movies made about it. Operation Varsity was successful and helped Montgomery cross the Rhine in support of the British Army, even though the casualties on both sides were quite heavy. Over 2,400 paratroopers were casualties. They did kill and capture over 3,500 Germans, and they secured the bridges to allow the the British troops to get into German territory. And I think we see Axis troops taking position.
So I think in these DC-3s, and they were Wright engines or Pratt & Whitney engines, Doug? Both, okay, both. By the way, well, let's listen. Here we go.
Oh, he's on those 30-30s. Oh, there we go. What, no gliders? Yeah, Waco gliders. Waco gliders. There's one in restoration, but I don't like it. No, I'm driving this. Yeah. Truck line? Yeah. Like a tow line. Right pad actually. But no, they have to do this. I didn't see what it, I was at the walk with me, but I didn't see a glider there. No, he didn't. Oh, because I went to the museum a couple years ago. He must have the other engines. He's got the. Listen to the sound of that. That one doesn't have the. That one has the other. It doesn't have the right engine. It has the. Those are the right engine. They have the Pratt & Whitney. Power. Pratt & Whitney. More powerful? I don't know. So there were some DC-3s and C-47s built with
doing a very special mission right now, isn't it?
That's correct, Rob. C-47 is really important to me because it's the first job I ever had as a pilot was flying a C-47 hauling boxes, overnight boxes into my hometown. So I love the C-47. I've been flying them for almost 30 years. But as we speak right now, the Commemorative Air Force C-47 Blue Bonnet Bell is flying between Conroe, Texas and Port Arthur, Beaumont area, hauling water down to the hurricane victims. Beaumont's still stranded, there's no water down there, and we're hauling water in there in a C-47. All goods to people that are in trouble, and we're really proud at the CAF to have our old girl out there working today.
That's awesome. Thank you, Doug Rosendahl. Sure appreciate it. It's kind of a modern day Berlin airlift, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We call it the Ghost Lift, the Gulf Coast Lift of 17.
That's it. Thank you, Doug Rosendahl. Well, Alphonse Mueller, we've got a bunch of airplanes in the air, and I'm seeing some other activity out here in the field. And earlier in the day, the Germans, they held the advantage after our first battle.
Yeah, yes they did. They used some flanking tactics, and the American and British forces were not able to successfully defend the flight line, and the Germans captured the airfield, I suppose you could say. But the tides have turned now. The Germans are in the defensive positions. They might have an advantage because the P-40 did not see the disposition of the German forces as it made its passes.
airplane to just shoot it. Oh, yeah. I didn't hear a different sound.
Now today, you may have just noticed an airplane
I
taking
believe we were here in France or in northern Holland, 1944, not in mid-Michigan, but I guess you'll have to just wait for the streamers and kind of suspend your beliefs for a moment.
That's right. These wind, you can see them coming out. They're crepe paper, about 15, 18 feet long, about 10 inches wide. They're weighted in the bottom with a little piece of wooden dowel rod. And they'll give an idea of what the wind is doing between the jump altitude and the surface. The other thing that is interesting to discuss about that is that they'll be jumping from about 2,000 feet, I think, at the very minimum 1,500 feet. On D-Day, and also I believe during Operation Varsity, and you can help me with this, Alphonse, they jumped from an altitude as low as 700 feet with these static lines that as soon as they jumped out of the aircraft, the parachutes were deployed. They wanted to have as little, oh, their streamers are continuing to come down. They wanted to have as little time in the air as possible. They didn't want to be targets for ground fire.
It's true. The pilots were under a tremendous amount of pressure because these planes were not armor plated at all, and they're slow.
The jump master near the front of the airplane. The pilots and navigator, noting their location, turns on a green light. The jumpers line up, hook their static lines to a cord at the top, and then they exit the aircraft.
Holes in the
4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, 17.
Reaching the ground. They do the parachute landing fall where they drop and roll.
I like that pretty slow.
As you can see, if it was a daytime airdrop, it's very obvious that somebody is in the air coming towards you. From the Germans' perspective, they knew that there wasn't their paratroopers, so
Fading the sound down, here comes the photo pass from the C-47s. Look at this!
oh wow, get your movie cameras out. Here we go, a little pass to the C-47s. I've just been informed that we've witnessed a world record of World War II painted C-47s dropping World War II dressed static line paratroopers at a single event.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah.
I'm sure there must be somebody from Guinness here, right?
We would only hope. For those who may not be aware of it, those red, I should say those white and black stripes that are painted on the aircraft, they were on the aircraft on D-Day, June 6, 1944, and they were a very rudimentary technique used for identifying friend or foe, IFF. And if they had those invasion stripes, it kept our guys from shooting our own planes
Be
down.
up there at 4 o'clock and then come out and find you in the sun. Then they shut that area down. Nothing this photographer thinks not. And I was telling Keith earlier, but
Well, passport. I hear it's getting better.
yeah. I gotta check it out. That might be something to do in the future. Oh, let's try an airport again. They'll bring them to mine. They're all there.
They're reenacting
There's Southwest flight. JetBlue and Southwest flight from Orlando. And
if you shoot it,
there's the airline, some other airlines flying charter.
Yeah, this is what it's like in
I was like, like 10 airlines flying through the
it doesn't even go anywhere. And this makes us
What's that? Well, all the airlines pulled out because
Off from the south, you'll see that the German infantry is called in for some armor support. They've got the light 222 scout car with a 20mm cannon, and also the Panzer Lynx, which is in camouflage and leading the defense on the left flank for the Germans. The Americans might be armed with some anti-tank weapons like a 2.5-inch bazooka, which wouldn't be effective against this light armored vehicles. If there had been something heavier like a Panther or Tiger tank, the bazooka would be relatively worthless as far as an anti-tank weapon, except to disable from the flank or from the rear. The German bazooka, what they called a Panzerschreck, was much larger. It was a 3.5-inch wide rocket projectile and could penetrate more armor plate. And now the Americans seem to have their own armor in support. Here come the 3 Shermans on the right flank.
There's a University of Michigan helicopter. A Eurocopter.
No, but it would work.
Yeah, like so on the north side, but the south side, it's cleaned up and finished up. We can give our reenactors a nice round of applause for their work out here. This is a pretty long scenario. One of the paratroopers, you have to witness that world record of line drop and paratroopers in World War II painted airplanes and World War II uniforms in a single event. So we hope you take the time after the air show, after the wonderful Blue Angels show is finished. We hope you come out and come through the World War II website, World War II